Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're super glad to have you. Want to just start out and say how much we appreciate each of you and your sponsorship and support of God's Littlest Angels over recent years. I'm really excited to be able to share some vision casting and some path forward here in the next few minutes with you. If you have any questions or any comments, anything you would like us to talk further about, if you type those in the comments, we will see those pop up and we'll address those at the end. So please feel free to drop those in at any point. My name is Trey. I'm the executive director at God's Littlest Angels. I'm sure for most of you, we've had some interaction at some point over the last couple of years. And this is Christy. She's one of our newest board members. She gets to be on the stream with me tonight, mostly because she lives in close proximity to me. So she's going to be joining us and helping answer some questions and that kind of thing. So I want to take just about 5 minutes and share with you kind of where we've been, some of the things we've been wrestling with as a board and as an organization and as a staff, and what that has brought us to. Some of this will be related to the state of Haiti and what's going on and the obvious evacuation that we've had to endure and navigate this year. Some of that is a broader picture. And so we're going to talk through that. I'm really excited about what our board of directors believes that God has laid in front of us as a path forward for the next 30 years for God's Littlest Angels. And on that note, it's really exciting to know that we are approaching 30 years of ministry for God's Littlest Angels in Haiti, which is absolutely unheard of in the country. And a lot of that is because of donors and supporters just like you. So without expanding any further, let's just jump straight in. So one of the things that our board of directors has been struggling with has been childcare on the side of our orphanage. And as adoptions have declined pretty rapidly in Haiti and across the country, we've had to begin to wrestle with what does that look like? Because we have kids who have been with us, as many of you are aware, for years, some of them even over 10 years at this point. And so that is creating concern for us. How do we navigate having children that old and preparing them to be adults? And our model has always been oriented to have them adopted out to first world countries. I'm sure many of you know we've done well over 1,000 adoptions to 14 different countries. But international adoption, not just in Haiti, but across the world, has really slowed down. There's really been a push back against that for a variety of reasons. And so in this conversation, our board and our staff on the ground both have reaffirmed that we believe that the best option for kids is to be raised in the family. That's why we've been so pro-adoption. That's why we've pushed for that. And if adoption wasn't going to be the answer or is going to continue to be a challenge, then we believe that we needed to prepare our kids to live a healthy life. What we didn't want is to get a child to 18, have them age out of God's Littlest Angels, and then be dependent, not be able to live a successful life. And I know from many conversations with many of you, that is something you feel as well. You don't want to simply help us take care of kids at a high level until they're 18 and then put them out on the street with no skill set, no educational level. So we were struggling with some of that for all of the unmatched kids in our care. What do we do with these 38 kids that we currently have moving forward? How do we raise children who can live a successful life in Haiti? That was the conversation that we've been having and struggling through. And what that led us to is to begin to pursue a transition in our approach to childcare. And so we want to move from currently what I would call triage ministry, where we are the last resort. We're taking care of kids in an institutional facility because they can't be taken care of in any other way, to a orphan prevention and family empowerment model. What this means is we are seeking to reunify all of our children with families in Haiti. Now, this is something that is new in Haiti, new in country, and it's new to us as well. Because of that, we are partnering with an organization called Overture International, and this is something that they specialize in. They go out, they find biological family members who are able to take care of these kids, or they find suitable foster homes to place these children with. there's a really rigorous set of standards and different evaluations that each child goes through, at which point they will be approved and then reunified and placed into a family. That's only the beginning. At that point, God's Littlest Angels commits to a 3-year support plan for the families. And so what we're looking to do is begin to pursue long-term homes for each of these kids. It really doesn't change our beliefs. It changes our approach to that philosophy. We still advocate that children are a blessing from God and they should be raised in a family the way that He designed. What God allowed us to see is that there were other options to pursue that same end result outside of international adoption. So that's one way that we are working towards that. And that the ideal goal is to put every child with their biological family. Again, if that's not possible, then a suitable vetted foster is going to be the best option. And so we believe that because of that, and because God is calling us sort of into that season, that we are recommitting to a lot of what was at the foundation of God's Littlest Angels. And ultimately, our goal is that we're going to start looking to empower healthy kids and families and communities, because we believe that in partnership with a couple other organizations who are like-minded, who are Christian-based in Haiti, we can look to stop the perpetuating cycle of poverty and the resulting orphanage crisis that comes from that. We think with some support and some education and some different tools and equipping, that families can take care of their children. And those children are a blessing to those families from God. And so we want to facilitate that and look to do that. So there is another side to sort of this bridging the care gap, this identifying, okay, what are the things that cause poverty orphans? And one of the largest ones is the cost of medical care. Many times we've seen that families are forced to choose between affording medical care and feeding their children. And so as a result, they will bring kids to places like God's Littlest Angels where they know they'll be taken care of in order to be able to also afford the necessary medical care. With that in mind, and our history in mind, we are also seeking to partner again with Overture in providing high quality, affordable medical care in Southern Haiti, specifically starting with pediatric care and looking to expand from there. So what that means is really bridging the care gap for us is twofold. Number one, it's family empowerment and reunifying kids, which is that 3-year support agreement that we're talking about. And then the second thing is to begin to open and operate a local medical clinic with the goal to expand those services in beyond pediatrics back into NICU care that we started out doing, and some other needs that we have assessed and found that are a contributing factor to the orphan crisis. While this seems like a lot of operational change, and in a day-to-day it is, if we step back and look at the roots and the foundation of God's Littlest Angels, this is who God's Littlest Angels started out to be. God's Littlest Angels started in 1994 as a NICU baby ministry, as a ministry who was in place to take care of those who were the most vulnerable, and then to place them back in their families, to provide that much needed life-saving service. And so our directors and our executive leadership, we're committed to a realignment to this vision. We believe that God is calling us, especially in Southern Haiti, where there is such a need for medical care, to bring our expertise into that gap and to begin to help fill that gap for families in the community and for other organizations to be a resource that doesn't overlap, but rather strengthens and connects everybody together. So I would say, in conclusion, our core conviction here is that we believe that it is our job and our calling in Haiti to enable children to thrive. And so to do that, that means that every orphan needs a home where medical emergencies are not separating families. And so that is looking into 2024 and beyond. That is what we're pursuing. We are excited for what that means and what that might look like. Now, I'm aware that probably means you have tons of questions. So at this point, any questions that you might have, we're ready to answer. You can type them in the comments. Feel free to just throw those out there. I will ask though, please don't use any of the kids' real names if you happen to be a child sponsor, just for anonymity and privacy sakes. All right, so Christy.
Okay, it's my turn. What is the expected time frame for moving the children out of GLA, Trey?
So this conversation started approximately 2.5 months ago. So this has been an ongoing thing we've been working through, and it was finalized when we, myself and Steve Lapp, board president for God's Littlest Angels, went down here in the last month or so. And the time frame, the goal is by end of the calendar year this year. While that seems really quick, there is quite a bit of prep work that has already been taken care of in that Overture and IBSR, which is Haitian Social Services in Southern Haiti, in Les Cayes specifically, already have a log of foster families prepared to take some kids, whether permanently or in short term, until we can find some families. The big hurdle, Christy, is going to be that with the unrest, a lot of families have relocated just like we have from the areas they were in. So it's going to take a little while longer for social workers who work for Overture to actually relocate some of those families. But right now, the goal looks like the end of the year. And we actually already have several kids who are well on their way in that process. We've done some family home visits already in that process.
That's wonderful. Amy A. has a question for you, Trey. How soon will these changes take place?
So again, for the reunification, we've already mentioned what that process is starting to look like, and that's already underway. Again, that's a very lengthy process. That's not a quick one and done, because we want this to be done right. And we're confident because Overture has done this successfully well over 250 times with 250 different children. So they're very competent, very skilled in this area. The clinic that we're looking to run, this may be a bit ambitious, but my goal is that we would at least take over in restructure of the clinic that is currently on site by December. Now, that may not mean we're fully operating, but because we're intending on doing a staged opening, because it's a big clinic. I think there's 14 rooms in that clinic, lots of capacity to expand, which we're super excited about, but we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. And this clinic is currently running, I think, 1 or 2 days a week at a very small capacity. So we want to make that transition very smooth. So my hope is by Thanksgiving, Christmas time, a lot of this will be in their final places, or at least well prepped.
That is great. Amy A. has another question for us.
Yep.
Will child sponsorship continue when children are placed in homes?
Yes. So child sponsorships will continue when placed in homes. There are a minimum of 4 visits a year from social workers, IBSR, and child protection safety agents. And that's in addition to checks from the schools that they're going to, et cetera. Right. So we'll be getting regular information from the families on how the child is doing, what they're progressing in, that type of thing. In addition, because those who stay on as child sponsorships, which I hope everyone will, you're going to be more sponsoring a family at that point, because your support is going to expand to be able to offer business or agricultural support and training to parents so they can get themselves on a stable ground to take care of their kids. It will also help us possibly send additional children in the home to school. There have also been opportunities to go find other siblings who were in other orphanages and reunify them back home with their family as well. So child sponsorship, the updates will evolve a bit, but the impact that you guys are going to be able to have through that specific program is going to be exponential. And it has the capacity to break generational cycles of poverty and the result of that. And so you can be proactive and create sustaining, healthy family dynamics for generations to come.
Right.
What else?
Let's see if we have another question. Okay. What types of training will the reunification families have?
So I think part of this probably needs to be, what does that process look like? It's a pretty involved 5-step, multi-step process of assessments and counselings and trainings and home visits and reports. And so it's very involved. There's a lot of vetting and a lot of checks that go on. Included in that is a customized assessment for each family, which will tell us, here's the type of support they need, because not every family struggles with the same things. Here's the immediate supports that they need. For instance, they may need some short-term food support. They may need agricultural training. There may be some places where we look and say, this family needs a house, which is something we can do. About $11,000 will build a really nice Cat 5 hurricane-proof house in Haiti in about 4 weeks. So that's something that dynamic changes a little bit. But part of the training, and this is just some of it because we could talk all night about what this training looks like, but some of this training includes children's protection and rights. It includes childcare, so hygiene, nutrition, discipline, how to do all those types of things. It includes parental responsibilities. As a parent, what is your job? What is your role? What is your responsibility to this child as their caretaker and their provider? It includes lots of training, not just with the families, but also with community leaders on the consequences of separation of children. That way, everybody understands that orphanages are not the solution, that if there's a crisis or if something happens, then we need to pursue other opportunities and we need to provide support networks for each other. It also includes, I think we mentioned, appropriate disciplinary matters, prevention of violence and abuse, that kind of thing. Some business training for the family. And then they also tend to open those business trainings up to the community as a whole. That way, the idea that if the economy in the community gets better, it's better for everyone. Because what we've seen is when you go into a region where children have been separated from their families, it's typically not one family. It's typically several families. And Haiti is very community oriented. They live and they work and they survive in their communities, which are often extended family.
We'll take another question. How will you move forward if no reunification families are found, foster or biological?
So we've not had that issue as of yet. Obviously, we're very young in this process. But in my conversation with other organizations who have pursued this, it's really a matter of time, not a matter of if. Matter of when, I guess, is the better way to say that. And so that is more what we're looking at. The foster is obviously a bit more involved because we're vetting families, and these families have to go through more of a training with IBSR and those types of things. But it doesn't seem to me to be again, if it's a win,
right?
Especially with the current turmoil in Haiti. And I will share with you guys that we did a couple family visits this week, and one of the moms said, "I'm so happy to be able to get my daughter back. I didn't feel, I wanted her back, but I didn't feel like I could call and ask because I had abandoned her and I felt like that wasn't my place." So, the families do want the kids back, and it's such a revolutionary thing for me even to think about how most of these families were forced to give up their kids because they couldn't afford them. And so as an organization, if we can step in and prevent that, as opposed to being the alternative option, that's far better of a choice to go through.
Barbara G has another question. How are the kids that have been with GLA for a while feeling about this? Are they aware this is happening?
Yeah, it's been, the conversations have been had, so they're aware that this is the process that's happening. It's taken a bit of a change of mind, I would say, for some of them, especially the older children, in that they always understood that they were going home. That was the goal. Just the dynamic has changed of where that would be. One of the things that we've noted is most of our kids, again, because we were NICU, premature care, we had a lot of kids come in very young. Many of them don't have any type of like psychologically and emotionally, any type of healthy attachment to any kind of relationship. And so that will be something that we have to navigate through, which is not uncommon in more of an institutional type setting. Right? It doesn't matter how well you do it. And I would say that GLA does it one of the best ever, in my opinion. And that's credit to our staff on the ground. But there is something where you have to navigate that change in dynamic of going from a large facility with a bunch of kids and some staff to a family. And we found it's better, at least the studies show, it's better that they navigate that change now so they can be a part of a family as they grow up, instead of having to go into and be a mom or a dad or a husband and wife and figure that out then. So there are some mixed feelings, although it seems to mostly be excitement because there is all of our kids know, because they've seen other kids go home, that going home, meeting mom and dad, seeing mom and dad is the goal. That where that's located is different now. You are more than welcome to reach out to me via email or call the office to have if you have further questions or thoughts. There'll be more information forthcoming as we sort of set out plans and expand on this. You can also be on the lookout. We're going to start making available some limited capacity Zoom calls with myself and other board members to talk through this further. Should you have more questions, should you want to have conversation, those types of things. We want to be completely transparent and open with you guys on what this looks like and how this is playing out and evolving. And so those will be made available on, you'll find links on Facebook and Instagram and social media and in our newsletters as well. If you want to sign up for those or want to recommend that somebody from your church sign up or from work or any of those kind of things. Dear Father God, we just come to you tonight, God, and we're so grateful for you and for your guidance through what has been a challenging couple of years in Haiti. God, we lift up the country of Haiti, that your peace would settle on the country, that solutions would be brought forth. And God, we're just so privileged and honored to be a small part of the work that you're doing and the phenomenal miracle that you're going to work in Haiti. God, thank you so much for trusting us with each of these children and for the vision that you have set in front of us to see them in homes, in families, loved and cared for and growing up, knowing what that looks like. God, we're so grateful for our staff who have committed and sacrificed and gone out of their way to love and to take care of these kids and to do whatever was needed, regardless of the circumstances, which have, again, been very challenging in Haiti. God, grateful for a group of people who will lead and will seek you and are willing to help boldly and courageously follow vision, even when vision changes or is a little different than what we've known. And God, I'm so grateful for every single donor that you have brought in along the way. It really is their work and their sacrifice and their generosity as a part of the GLA family that makes all of this possible. And so, God, we're so grateful for them. We just ask that you would continue to grow and to bless and to work in and through GLA for many years to come. So in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.